Hi, I'm Karen Nitsch. Welcome to my Frog Rhythms thematic unit. I am a music teacher, and this is a second grade unit on rhythm composition. This is the home page, and you can see the frog on the lily pad. The song that we're singing in this unit is Frog in the Mill Pond. So the theme is frogs and lily pads and ponds. On this home page, you can see an introduction to the unit and an overview of what is covered. If you click on Meet the Teacher, you will see a picture of my family and our dog Ghost. This is my husband Art, who's a musician, and our children Joel and Alicia, who are also musicians. Our children live out on their own now, but I just share a little bit about how music is an important part of our lives. And below here, I have a picture of my music classroom. The next tab is Lesson Plans. In this white section here, I give an overview of the 3 lessons in this unit. We only meet once a week for music class. Each class meets once a week for 50 minutes. So this 3-lesson unit takes 3 weeks. In the first lesson, they get introduced to the song, and they will get some time practicing with practice sheets and big frogs and small frogs and quarter rests, which I'll show you in a moment under instructional tools. In lesson 2, they will continue learning the song and singing the song, and then they'll actually write their compositions on my rhythm composition sheet, which looks very similar to the practice sheet, but they will actually be using the notes and the rest. And they will get to choose an unpitched percussion instrument to give them some choice, and they also have to think about what instrument would be good for them to play, something that they enjoy playing and that isn't too difficult for them to play. And then they will practice with that instrument. They will practice playing their composition. They can pair up with a partner and play it for their partner and let their partner give feedback. They can also videotape themselves. They're going to videotape themselves. I added this as a technology piece, and it's also a very good thing for musicians to do, to watch themselves performing, and they can really see what the audience is seeing. So the students will be able to see what they did well, assess themselves, what do they need to continue to practice, and do some self-reflection. In lesson 3, again, we'll start by singing the song. They'll get a little bit of time to warm up and practice, and then it will be time for the performances. Down here are links to each of the lesson plans, and you get the full lesson plan here with all the parts that come with the full lesson plan. Alright, now if you click on the instructional tools, these are the things that are used during the lessons. This was a fun video I found on YouTube.
You've seen them. You've heard them. Now let's meet some frogs.
I was fascinated with this video, and I know the kids will be too. Plus, they just enjoy any time they get to watch a video. So that's how we're going to start the unit. We'll start talking about frogs. They'll learn the song, and then we'll go from there. Down here are some important links to the things that you will use during the lesson to teach the lesson. I start by giving them these laminated practice sheets, and they just get to have fun putting a frog or 2 little frogs or a rest on each beat. So it's just an initial way for them to practice and see what their composition page is going to look like. But they get to put these cute little frogs and the quarter rest. So these are laminated also and are cut out, and each big frog here represents a ta, and the little frogs represent a TT. So this is the quarter note, this is equivalent to the barred eighth notes, and then this is actually the rest. And so they have fun creating compositions with these frogs and rests, and I actually go around and watch to make sure they're putting one beat on each lily pad, and then I also have the student clap the rhythm and say the rhythm syllables from that practice sheet. Because the next lesson, they're going to get this checklist, and this has the instructions for their composition. So they will follow the instructions. Here are the actual notes that they will draw. This is the ta and the tt and the sh. And I actually drew this and took a picture of it. So I teach them to write a Z and then a C, and that helps them with writing a quarter rest. This is also their checklist, so they will go back and put a check mark once they have checked their composition and made sure that they followed all the instructions. And the final one link here is to the actual composition page. It's called My Rhythm Composition, and instead of name, it says composer, because we talk about what a composer is and what a composer does, and that they are actually composing this 8-beat rhythm composition. Here are the instructions again, and I make sure that they know to put one beat on each lily pad, and that they need to use ta, tt, and sh. They have to include all three, but they can use only 1 or 2 rests, because I've actually had students write 8 rests, which is nothing. Their rests are no sound, so they have no sound to their composition, so they have to make sure they only use 1 or 2 rests in the entire composition. The next tab takes you to the assessments that I will be using. Again, here's another picture of some lily pads, and underneath are the 2 links to the rubrics. The composition rubric is what I will use after the second lesson when they turn in their composition to me, and you can see the different levels. They can get 4s if they follow all 5 instructions, and if they have 1 beat on each lily pad, and if all notes and rests are written correctly. And with all the practice that they get, most of them do pretty well. They get 3s or 4s on their composition. And this is a sheet that they will get to take with them at the end of the unit when it's done. This is the performance rubric, which I will use when they're actually performing. So during the 3rd lesson, while they're performing, I'm looking to see if they're using proper instrument technique throughout the performance, if they're maintaining a steady beat, playing all the rhythms correctly, and if they say all the rhythm syllables correctly. So they're doing quite a lot in this performance, and the highest they can score here is 16. And then if you go over to the More, you can see under the Standards tab the Ohio Music Standards, and then the NETs and the P21 standards that I think are addressed in this unit. And under Technology, right here at the top, I've included the technology that I actually use while teaching in this unit, and then down here are the things that I use to create this web page. And we have peer survey. If you click on that link, it will take you to the survey that you can take to give me feedback on my thematic unit, and I appreciate your feedback. And then the final one is reflection and implementation, which I will complete when it's all finished.